All right.
Hey everybody, we are live. I am here with Angara Beaubrun, and I am so excited because we've connected through readings actually, but I've loved your willingness to learn. It's like I always tell people during any of my sessions, like, ask me questions. Someone ask me questions. Like, come on, someone ask me questions. And you totally have taken me up on it time and time again, and I feel like we've gotten closer from it. So if anybody's watching out there and you have questions about anything I've ever said to you, like, don't hesitate to ask. But what I really loved is just your willingness to learn, and your questions are always so perfect. I love it. So we've gotten close, or close-ish through that, and I just really feel a connection to you. And then when I started following Angara on Facebook, or sorry, on Instagram, your Instagram account literally makes me, I just love it. I love what you post. I love the way that you look. I love the way that the feelings that you exuberate in your photos. And you literally just are it's just such a rock star to me. And I look forward to your posts. Like, I really do. When I see your posts, it just makes me feel, I just feel good. So I wanted to invite you on today, and we've talked a little bit about what we're going to talk about, but some of my questions are going to be around, or well, not like I'm going to hound you with questions, but some of our topics are going to be around the body positivity movement. And so before we get into like any specific questions, I just wanted to open the stage if there's anything you want to share, anything you want to share about yourself. I know I kind of did an informal introduction, so if you want to add anything in, now's your chance.
Hey everyone. Like Shannon said, my name is Angara Beaubrun. I'm kind of like on this journey of just understanding myself and a lot of unlearning living in this society. I'm from America, so there's a lot of societal status quos and rules that like was embedded in me, especially as being a Black woman in this society, that like as I've gotten older, I come to realize like there's nothing really wrong with me. There's a lot wrong with what society makes rules out of. And that's just what I've been doing lately, is just like trying to unlearn and put in what I feel as though would be the right thing for myself. And hopefully it helps other people realize, oh, like this is good too, you know? So yeah.
That's
So it's
totally
nice to see you all.
and honestly, that's really earlier today I gave everybody the info on 2020 and the astrology of 2020, and I feel like you just summed it up so well in terms of like, it's the structures that's wrong, right? It's the power that's wrong. It's the institutions that are wrong. And I feel like now we're in a space of really being hyper aware of that, those of us who are willing to to do the work and learn that. So thank you for that. That's awesome. So body positivity movement is, huge now. It's big. It's big. It's lots of big brands jumping on board, lots of things like that. But we've heard from some really, some awesome things about diet culture from Amy, who was here on earlier. So there's a lot here, but I wanted to talk to you about specifically the body positivity movement. So specifically that, and I wanted to ask you, where do you, well, if you know, which I think you do, where it all began and where it really comes from at its core.
Well, when I was doing my research, like about body positivity and what's going on, because I follow a lot of Black femmes and women of color who are larger bodies, and they've said a lot of critiques against the body positivity movement. And what I've learned from them, and what I've learned on Google and everything like that with my own research, is that like it started with in a way. It started with fat acceptance, really. Body positivity came out of fat acceptance, the fat acceptance movement. And it started with Black femmes, marginalized bodies, basically women of color. It's more geared towards women of color and women in general, for the simple fact that like when it comes to societal standards and how we are supposed to go around this world, a lot of the pressure is put on us. I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men or anything like that. It doesn't affect men in a different way. It's just a lot of the pressure, a lot of how we're supposed to be in this world is a lot on us, especially when you add color to it. If you look at statistics, there's a hierarchy. I wouldn't say hierarchy, but there's statistics when it comes to like white women, women of color, and then indigenous and black women. And black women and femmes are like at the very bottom of the totem pole when it comes to like almost every aspect of our society, starting from medical stuff to all the way to the fat acceptance body positive movement. It was black femmes and black women who started because a lot of when you look at through history and especially during the slaves and everything like that, our bodies were exploited a lot in very wrong ways. And then when we started to have our own like ways of doing things, a lot of, I would say, the counter society or white people or anything like that, they noticed that we're getting a rise and they wanted to find a way to make it to prevent that from happening, if that makes sense. It sounds kind of crazy, but it really does. Yeah, it happens that way because a lot of the fat body stigma, fat phobia and all that stuff doesn't come from really like science or health. I mean, yeah, there are people who are obese who are unhealthy, but what I've learned in psychology in college is that correlation doesn't mean causation. So just because there are correlations to it doesn't mean that that's the exact reason why an obese person is unhealthy versus someone who's thinner, with all that. So a lot of people, a lot of white people tend to, wealthy white people found that out and they're like, well, how do we make this like a status quo where people who are smaller body can be the top, the cream of the crop versus people who are fatter or larger and everything like that. I would say on Google it says on Wikipedia that Tess Holliday started the body positive movement, and that's not true. She is a part of it. I follow her. I love everything that she does and everything like that. But there's another girl named Sonia Renee Taylor, I believe.
Yes, not to interrupt you, but Amy, who was speaking to before you, recommended The Body Is Not an Apology as
yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, she's fantastic. I wouldn't say that she did start it, but she's definitely one of the pioneers behind it, with the whole body positivity, everything like that. I've read some other things that she posted recently that she's kind of going away from the body positivity movement, and just doing, and it's reclaiming the word fat acceptance because it's been the body positive movement kind of been diluted to the point that like a lot of people don't understand where it's coming from anymore. So yeah. So I went so many, like, there's so many different like tangents and like aspects to it that, yeah.
Take it in whatever tangent you want. That's is why I've invited you to just share with whatever direction you want to head in. So, is there any other things you want to add, or do you want to go off on any other thoughts from that, or do you want me to go into my next question?
Your next question, please.
So I like this question because I feel like there's a lot to it, and no pressure on you, but how is mainstream media getting the body positivity movement wrong? With examples of things like self-love or body confidence, and how is mainstream missing the point here?
It's missing the point, but at the same time, it's kind of expected that mainstream media is missing the point because it's ruled by the hands of people who've been running it for years now. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally.
I think with broadcasting, there's like 4 big media people, and they're all like white men, basically, that are the CEOs of it. So it makes sense. So a lot of people, so the reason why the body positivity movement is getting it all wrong is, one, because we're still tailoring our advertisements and everything to people who are not of color. That's one big thing. A lot of people, they're like, when they see the body positive movement from Black femmes and larger body and marginalized people, they're like, okay, that looks great, but how I'm going to market it to make it like more mainstream, which is like, instead of like Black femmes who are my complexion or darker are larger than me, are larger, because I am a fat person, but nowadays my body is more of a smaller fat, is considered privilege fat, because I can go to a store, I can go to the mall and I can go get an extra large or a large, and be okay with it. I mean, nowadays I still do online shopping. Certain things I still have to go online to find a larger size, but it's not. It doesn't affect me nearly as much as someone who's a lot bigger. So in mainstream media, you see a lot of fair complexion women on the body positivity movement advertisements. You see women who are not of size 18 or up. You see women of my size, like 10, 12, 14, not even 16s. The models that I follow, a lot of them who have been size 16, or they've seen a lot of fair skin plus size models who, like, the photo director and everything like that have put like paddings on them because they don't want to hire someone who actually is size 16 or 18 or anything like that, which is actually quite disappointing. And then on an Instagram with the body positivity movement, you see women, you see white women, which is fine and everything like that. But like they're just kind of, they have a belly, but they're not fat, if that makes sense. And they're like, and you see in these photos that like they're holding their stomach and like showing like, oh, look at this, like I have all these rolls and all that stuff. I'm just like, you're literally like forcing it out. Like you're literally just showing as if like you are experiencing the same type of stigma problems that and microaggressions that people like me and larger body people face every single day. And that's not okay, you know? And then on Instagram, you see the Flat Tummy Co. and in the name of body positivity movement, which is quite dangerous and completely goes against what body positivity is, if that makes sense. Because like, first of all, these ingredients in Flat Tummy Co. is like very dangerous for you. And not only that, like it's telling you like, oh yeah, I love your body, but you could totally lose some more weight with that. Like you could totally look so much better, which is kind of like messing with like your consumer's mind a little bit. It's like, okay, so like you're saying my body's okay, but you're saying that I need a flat tummy. So like what's going on with that, you know? So that's the thing with the body positivity movement that I feel as though like they have gotten wrong. It's because like people are still trying to market like white people and average body thinner people, and they're trying to take that away from us in that way. That's why, really.
I love it. And honestly, I'm so thankful and thank you for coming on and, speaking to this. And I just want to recognize like the courage and the work that you're putting into saying this. And I just really, really, really thank you for coming on because, yeah, it's so true. And, I've even just for my own, when we were kind of going back and forth about what we are going to talk about, I just clicked like body positivity hashtag on Instagram. And the stuff that you see popping up isn't necessarily obviously where this all started from. So
Yeah,
it's good to
exactly.
go back. It's good to go back to the roots. So thank you for bringing us back to what's real, what's important. That's awesome. And I find too, I think even that word positivity, and maybe this is just, you tell me your thoughts on this because I could be totally wrong. But I feel like saying, acceptance versus positivity are way different things because sometimes, to be positive about something, we're not in a world where that really sets us up for positivity. I mean, and some more so than others for sure. But that word acceptance really, starts where we're at. So it almost feels like moving back to that, like Sonia Renee Taylor, you said, back to acceptance. That feels powerful. Oh, are you frozen? All right. Well, we might just be frozen for a minute, but hopefully I am still live, which it looks like I am. So that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm still going. So we captured all that amazing. Oh, you're back. Awesome.
Yeah,
There
I'm
you are.
back. Sorry, I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, no, that's all good. That's all good. Awesome. So, yeah. I was just saying how that word positivity versus acceptance, like acceptance feels like the real work versus, being super positive, which isn't always easy.
Yeah, it's not always like realistic either, to be honest, too. So I think acceptance, and it makes sense why a lot of people who have been the pioneers of body positivity movement and that subform of the fat acceptance movement is going back to its roots of fat acceptance, because that's where it starts. It's accepting like how your body is in general. Like it doesn't have to, it's like there's nothing wrong with that whole movement where like people started putting glitter on their stretch marks and saying they're tiger stripes. There's nothing wrong, and it's true, it's beautiful. But it's also okay to be like, I don't really think they're beautiful, but I'm okay with it on my body. You know what I mean? So it's definitely important. Like it's, of course, beauty and all that stuff is great, but just being okay is like is paramount to me. So yeah.
Oh yeah, well said. Awesome. Well, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Just to chat face to face, because usually we're over voice. So this has been awesome. But I just wanted to give you the space. If there's anything else you want to add or anything else you want to say before we end our stream.
I don't know. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me and Shannon talk about everything about, well, it's like a quick snippet of the fat acceptance and body positivity movement. I could literally talk about this for hours and so many tangents and everything like that. But thank you for listening to both of us, telling you guys what's up, basically. So thank you.
Awesome. And that's totally how I feel too. We've had all these little snippets of people. So I feel like it's just like a to be continued with who knows what what we could create or put out there. Cause I did look at I don't know if you listened to your 2020, but I was excited. I had like full body chills recording your reading. I was like, oh, this is cool. But anyways, I won't put you on the spot anymore. So thank you so much. You're amazing. You can connect with Angara on Instagram, West Indie Goddess. I posted in the Facebook group. I highly recommend to follow. Yeah, so just like infinite gratitude. So thankful for being here. And thank you everybody who's watching. And we'll be back in 10 minutes with our next guest.
Hi, thank you so much.